Hi, I just wanted to give a really quick demo of how to scan a basic image in Chartminder. So the first step is to sign in and go to your charts and then choose to scan a new chart. And you have to choose the image. So for now I'm just going to use this really simple Union Jack flag. So you can see as soon as it's loaded you will get automatically a black and white chart over the top of your image. The first one of these controls along the top I'm going to point out is this one right here, the opacity under visibility. So if you change this measure, what it's going to do is make the chart that's overlaying your image more or less opaque. So if I put this right down to 0, you can just see the image, and then as I move it along, the chart becomes more visible over the top. So this is a bit like if you're using tracing paper. Perhaps you've made charts before where you're bringing the tracing paper over the top of an image and then taking it off again. This is essentially what you're doing with this opacity control. So the next thing I'm going to do, obviously black and white is not the colours that I'm going to want for this chart. So I'm going to look at this palette section. So first of all, I'm going to keep the white because obviously I want to keep that one. But I'm going to change from black to blue to try and pick up the blue part of the flag. And this will update in real time as you're changing the colour to whatever it is, and it will continue to scan it, and so you can see how your chart's looking whilst you're working on it. So I think that's a pretty good match for the blue. The next thing I'm going to want to do is add the red. So here's the red, and there you go, you can see that it's picked that up pretty well. Just going to have a look and see how that's going. Yeah, okay. So the next thing I'm looking at is, you can see at the bottom here there's a bit of a gap. That's because the size of each of these stitches, there's not quite enough space there for another stitch, is what that means. So what I'm going to do is change the stitch size with this stitch size control here. So you can see that the chart size is actually locked because it's currently fitting as many stitches as it can into the image. That's what this fit to image marker does. So if I just wanted the top left corner of the chart, I would untick fit to image, and then I can change this number to whatever I like. So I might know that I want it to be 25 by 15 stitches, and that's just going to do that section. But on this occasion I want the whole image, so I'm going to keep that checked. So the stitch size is where you can control how wide or tall each of the blocks are. So if I wanted this to be a really detailed chart, then so maybe you're using very fine yarn, or maybe you're making something very big, then you can change the stitch size to be less. So I'm just going to, for now, change to, whoops, I'm just going to change this to 150. So you can see immediately these stitches are much thinner, and it's automatically increased the number of stitches across so that it fits the image. Make that 100 as well. So there you go. Now that's kind of looking very detailed. I don't think I would want it actually that big. Another thing I want to show you, or you can zoom as well if you have a big image or a smaller image. So if I have quite large stitches, so I'm going to make this about 300 and 350. So you can see some of these. I'm going to change that again. So here, if you look just in this corner, if I change the opacity, this bit of red isn't being picked up by the scanner. So there's either, to fix that, you can change the stitch size, or you can try this last control here, the algorithm. So this isn't very well explained in the interface yet. I'm hoping to fix that soon, but what this is doing is, so you've got two options for the algorithm it's using to scan your image. So the average color, what that means is where you see this square, so this one particularly, where you see this square, it's looking at the image behind it and it's trying to guess what the average color is across that space, and then it's trying to match it to your palette. So for whatever reason, there's a little bit of white mixed in here, so it's thinking that this block should be white. So I'm going to change the algorithm to center point, and what that's going to do is it's going to look at the color at the center point of the block and use that instead to match from the palette. So because this image is quite plain colors, so the center point algorithm is actually going to be better for picking that up. So you can see it's got right into that corner now, and the chart is looking pretty good. So once you're happy with what you've got, just hit the scan button and then wait a few seconds while it does its thing, and here you go. Now the chart is ready in the designer for you, and you can treat it like any other chart. So I might want to do something crazy with the colors, so actually instead of blue, I'm going to make it sort of bright yellow, and then I'm going to make this part black, or whatever you want to do with it. And you can also change the gauge if the measurements, if you want the measurements to be more accurate. So perhaps you've done a swatch already. You can put your measurements in if you want to with a custom gauge, and then that's it really. So you've got your chart scanned from your image. I hope that's helpful. A few people have been asking about the scanner and how it works, so that should hopefully give you a basic overview of how it works. Let me know if you have any other questions. I can do some more videos, hopefully quicker, then I can build stuff into the site. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.